Alrighty, hello everybody out there on DFW Guitarists and potentially YouTube. I might go ahead and put this there. I'm gonna go ahead and do a guitar demonstration video for you today because I was thinking it might be beneficial for you guys. And because my internet's crap, I'm gonna try and sort of make it quick, okay? So, this is one of my new SGs. This is one of the new 2021 Pro. Get that off of there. Pro traditionals or traditional standards. Sorry. And this originally came with the silver Alnico 5 pickups in it. And although they are good sounding pickups, they're one a little bit vintagey for me. It's kind of like they're a low and medium kind of combo rather than a medium high kind of combo. This wasn't also the only guitar I have those in. I have those in a 335, and since those are kind of hard to work on, those probably will never change. So this guitar was a little bit redundant, and I just wasn't playing it because I just wasn't hugely in love with how it sounded. So I had a Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates lying around, and a Seymour Duncan Invader. So I went ahead and put those in here. So this is going through my little Black Star 10 watt V3 amp. It's just on the clean warm setting. This would be the Pearly Gates neck pickup. So let me switch it over to bright here. And then let me go ahead and put that back over to warm. Let you hear them both together. This would be the Invader and the Pearly Gates together in what would be considered parallel. I wish people would stop calling it out of phase. It's not out of phase, it's parallel. It's actually quite in phase. Sounds quite nice. A lot of people said this would be a weird combination. I think they really sound good together. It has a surprising amount of high end for a pickup that in my youth I thought was very dark. It still is kind of dark, but it does have kind of a crispy high end on it. Alright, so now, as many of you know, the new Epiphones have coil splits and such. So the way that it's set up is this splits the neck, this splits the bridge. That is not useful to me. So what I ended up doing with this thing was I set it up with the Master Series Parallel and Split mod from Guitar Electronics. It gives you like, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 sounds, but really 8 that are sort of, I call it the 8-way mod because really 8 or 9 of the sounds are really more useful than some of the others. So the first thing you'd be able to do is you'd be able to, now instead of having to pull both knobs to split pickups, you just pull the top volume knob, and now that puts these pickups into single coil-ish, because we're not going to argue that, but split mode, and they sound great. Alright, so that's the Pearly Gates, then both of them together. This is all tone all the way up, tone and volume all the way up. If you want to fool with that, you get a lot of tones. Those sound very good together. They complement each other. I'm running through all this clean right now because all these tones are a little more apparent clean. So basically, kind of a Telecaster. It's sort of like a Telecaster right now, right? And guys, these little ID core amps are so nice. I mean, I haven't really used my modeler much since I've gotten this thing. I find all the tones on it are pretty nice. Okay, so then this guitar has another hat trick. So let's say that you're in single coil mode. Let's say you like single coils and you plan on leaving this guitar like in single coil mode, but just now and then you need a little more power. So what you'd do is you'd flip up to the neck, you'd pull the bottom volume knob, so now both knobs are up, right? And this puts those same coils into series rather than parallel. So together like this, it's master. It's a series humbucker. I call it a split humbucker, but it's like wired like a series humbucker, and it's one coil off the gates and one coil off the invader, and they sound great. Move that over to bright. That's enough to cause some light breakup in a clean amp. So that would probably be about like 8, 9, 10, like a 12K, like a 12K humbucker. I'll do a few dirty tones later. Okay, so then you could also move it down one, and then I believe it's series out of phase. Because that's regular parallel, and then what I just showed you before with series, and then this is just you can tell it's series. That's sort of noisy and just sort of have the same oomph to it. So I assume this is out of phase now, where it was parallel before. So series out of phase, 2 coils. So the really big hat trick would be top knob down, bottom knob up. So now you have a quad bucker. So you're rocking like a 24K quad bucker. And if I move it over to bright, it's causing some noticeable breakup in the amp. Then you move down one knot. You still have your quad bucker, but you're out of phase now. So series out of phase. Back in normal parallel. Series out of phase. Series in phase. So I'm going to move that over to really good bit of. So that's the quad bucker. And then this would be the split bucker. So the pearly gates on its own. With the invader on its own. Really, that invader is. That invader is not too much off from the quad bucker. But that quad bucker is amazing. I should also point out that I have a loud RF signal somewhere in my RV here, so really at like a normal house, this isn't that noisy. It's a little more noisy here. So really, I think that this is a very useful mod in that it's pretty non-invasive. So if you just install this and leave it alone, it's like a normal SG with new pickups and 500K electronics. You know, there's not anything really special about it, okay? And then, you know, if like somebody with active electronics came up on stage, I think like in that quad bucker position especially, you do have some tonal variation with your tone and volume controls. You could totally compete with that on a passive level and get like what sounds to me to be a much better tone. The disadvantages are it is a little switch fiddly to kind of remember what you're on and what's doing what. You'd have to like really get good at using this guitar. So you'd have to get down at switching and what was going on when, because you could really potentially be on something that you don't want to. Guys, I totally recommend the new Kalamazoo, you know, inspired by Gibson SGs. They're absolutely wonderful. A couple other people maybe on the group have played this thing. If you guys want to chime in and just like point out how good a guitar this is, they're really wonderful instruments. You could pull this off if you wanted to with the stock electronics that come in it. Just keep in mind that it's all quick connect. You would technically have to butcher a lot of it. So I pulled that out, including the old pickups. This would be a good way to give your stock pickups a little bit of oomph if they just didn't have it all the time for you. Like if you just mostly liked them and you were fine with them like 90% of the time, but like that other 10% of the time you just needed a little more, cook out of them. This would be a good mod to do. Just keep in mind you're going to have to cut all the quick connect stuff off or get adapters. I mean, I think it's totally worth it. I think the way they wire it is kind of a waste of time. I'm not interested in hum sing together, really. Prince is the only guy I know who could pull that off and like really make it sound good. To me, it's not very useful. But I think that if you want to pull this mod off on like every guitar that has two humbuckers in it that you own, you can totally do that. I did this with a set of Alnico 2s on a friend's guitar recently, and it really gave them a lot of usable power in a couple of positions, whereas most of the time they're kind of a little weak for certain types of music. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this and everything. Glad to see everybody again.